Well, it came out
Okay.
yesterday here, so what up?
Oh, look at that. Technically, still today, just not your today.
Technically, I'm in your tomorrow, so who's better off?
So what is that like?
Living in
What
your
is
tomorrow?
tomorrow? Yes,
Much better than your today.
because I have to live in your past.
That is true. But that you've always lived in my shadow, so it's not that different.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Taylor and Alan talking about movies. They may be best friends, but they always disagree. Taylor and Alan, I seen that.
I have selected a movie.
Uh-oh.
I looked at some trivia, and there's really not a lot that I can use that doesn't have character names and whatnot.
Okay.
But I did find a couple interesting pieces. For example,
Yep.
this script was rejected 40 times before it was finally greenlit.
40?
40 times
Okay.
before they gave it the okay. Where was it? I had another one that didn't have names. You know what? No, I don't.
This is such a professional
You're just gonna
operation.
have to guess it from there. Actually, oh no, here it is. This was the top grossing movie of 1985. And if you can't guess it after those two clues,
Can you give me the
you're
genre?
probably never gonna guess it.
Can you give me the genre? 85?
Comedy / drama?
And it's one you
It's a
liked?
dramedy. Yeah, I love this movie.
Let's see.
I don't.
Robin Williams? Is
I
he
don't
in
know
it?
if I know anyone. No Robin Williams this
Okay.
time.
Steve Martin. Is Steve Martin in it?
Ugh, I do not care for Steve Martin.
85 comedy. Is it like in the vein of like an SNL type of thing or no?
It's not based off of SNL, if that's what you mean.
Well, like those actors.
No.
I'm trying to think who. What
The main actor in this movie does not really do acting anymore.
Okay. Well, give me the main actor. Tell me that, and let me see if I can get it from that.
Oh, it's oh gosh, why did I forget his name? Wow, I feel so dumb. Michael J. Fox.
Oh, is it Back to the Future?
It is Back to the Future.
Gotcha.
I love this movie. What are your thoughts on this movie?
I don't know if I would call this a comedy drama.
What would you consider it?
Time travel? I feel like time travel is a decent
But
enough
that's
genre.
not a
Time
that's
travel.
not a genre.
Yeah, it is.
That's like a sub genre.
Of which category? Every category. So
Comedy.
it's his own genre.
Of comedy.
There's serious time travel movies. What about like,
Yeah.
what was that one about it's like a romantic comedy type thing.
Oh,
I don't think I ever
Time
saw
Machine.
it. The Time Machine? No, I don't think so.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Hot Tub Time Machine, that's what it is. Yeah. That romantic comedy Hot Tub Time Machine. I actually never saw that one either.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
Yeah, that's what I figured when I saw
It
the
has
trailer.
its funny moments, but not much.
Yeah. Back to the Future. It is
Yes.
old.
It is old. 1985.
It's 32 years now.
32 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what's crazy is that's almost our ages. We're catching up to that.
Yeah, we will almost be as old as Back to the Future
Well,
is today.
we'll always
But
be
we'll never
exactly
actually catch
almost as old as Back to the Future.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I'm turning 30 next year, which is excitingly scary.
That is crazy.
Yeah. That's a long time.
Well, I still got some time. I'm only 28.
Yeah. You turned 29 this year, yeah?
Yes.
You don't got that much time, let me tell you. Being in the future. That's ironic
yeah.
that that's what we were talking about before.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, so what is it? Was it Doc Brown?
Yes.
He
Christopher Lloyd.
he creates the DeLorean time machine because
Yes.
he's just a scientist. I don't think there was a reason for it.
No, he just wants to do it, as we all do at some point in our lives.
I just want a DeLorean.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I would like a time machine and a DeLorean, but separate.
But separate?
Yeah.
Do you want a DeLorean because of Back to the Future, or do you think it's just like a reliable car?
Not because it's a reliable car, but just because it looks awesome.
Because I've heard that they're actually not, they weren't great cars.
Yeah, no, they're terrible cars. There's a reason why they stopped making them.
Yeah.
See, did I ever
Even
tell
though
you?
they could have kept pumping them out, and they would have sold just because of Back to the Future.
Well, they do
feel
still.
like-
There's like DeLorean clubs. I think it's in Southern
Yeah,
California.
but they're not making DeLoreans,
No, I know.
I think.
But there's like people who like keep the tradition alive. They have like tons of DeLoreans.
Well, yeah.
Did I ever tell you I created a time machine?
You haven't told me yet, but I believe sometime in the future you tell me about it.
It's about
And
5
it's
seconds
right
from
now.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the problem that I have with it is it's similar to Back to the Future time machine, where you have to get up to 88 miles per hour for it to work.
But it's just running shoes?
Yeah, it's just running shoes. Thanks for ruining
So,
that.
so probably not going to happen.
Nah, probably not. I tried it once going downhill and I just fell on my face.
Oof.
Do you like this movie?
I love this movie. I really do.
Do you?
Because, you may not know this, I'm a huge time travel fan. I love
You mean
just
a
about anything
comedy
time
drama
travel.
fan?
Any of it.
You're just a huge
All
comedy drama fan.
Genres. Exactly.
Because that's exactly what genre this is. Comedy drama. I would call this one a dramedy.
Yes.
Just like
That's what I said.
right up there with Punch Drunk Love.
Would that be considered a dramedy?
Punch Drunk Love? That was like the
Yeah.
first movie to be considered a dramedy.
The first ever, you think?
I think that's... I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's when that was kind of coined, that name, dramedy.
Huh.
It was right around then.
Could be.
I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
But yeah, I do love just about any movie, TV show that involves time travel / alternate timelines, anything like that.
Yeah. Well, have you
Huge fan.
watched Rick and Morty?
Yes, I have.
Because that's based off of this. This originally it was going to be, well, because Marty McFly is Michael J.
Right.
Fox, and then there's Morty. But I think he originally was going to be Marty in Rick and Morty, and it was just going to be Doc and
Yeah,
Marty, but they couldn't get
I've
the
heard
rights.
something like that.
What do you think
That's
of Rick and Morty?
Interesting. I love Rick and Morty too.
Dude. It
It is an acquired taste.
yeah. I've watched, I think, the first season, like, recently.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, well, the burping I have a really hard time with. I'm just...
Yeah, that was hard to get used to.
Mhm.
Just because it's like, it makes you kind of shiver.
Yeah. I just don't understand what the point of that is.
I think it's to just show that he's constantly drunk.
Yeah, but I feel like there's other ways, right? Like,
Well, they want you to feel uncomfortable. They want you to. It's a gross show. I think that's what they're going for.
yeah. It
I don't know.
makes it hard to watch for me.
I don't have that big of a problem with it, but I would say probably the first half of the first season it bothered me, and then I kind of didn't really notice anymore.
Yeah.
Have you only seen the first season?
I think so. I don't even know if I finished the first season yet.
Oh,
It wasn't...
because of the bourbon?
No. It wasn't. There's no reason. I just, like, ran out of time.
Oh, okay. I don't think I really started liking it until the second season.
Yeah.
It's a lot better. So, needless to say, it was the third season.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was watching it. I had like some downtime, so I started watching it, and then like my schedule just got full, and then so I kind of, you know how you ever just like are in the middle of binge watching something, but
Oh
if
yeah,
you have to stop,
I've probably
you never go back.
watched. Yeah, I've probably watched the first 3 episodes of like 30 shows that I've not finished that I want to.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
Yeah, the Rick and Morty's one of those. Like, I'll get around to it eventually, but also another part is I forgot where I am. So I'm like,
Yeah, I hate that.
I don't really want to go back and rewatch, but I don't want to skip. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
so what about this movie was so impactful to you? You just want to time travel? You want to go back in time
yeah.
and hook up with your mom?
No, I would like to go back in time and avoid my mom's advances. He does not go back in time to hook up with his mom.
Yeah, but he gets pretty close.
But he does try to set up his dad with his mom. Because, so what happens is he goes,
Well, Doc gets shot.
so Doc does a deal to get some plutonium, which is required for the time travel. And it's with the
Russians?
Afghanistan. No, I don't think it's the Russians. I want to say like
Are you sure? Because I feel like the Russians were always the bad guy back then.
most of the time. I don't think it's the Russians. It's like the Iraqi or something like that.
Iraqi.
Something along those lines.
Okay.
So they show up because they're angry at the deal, and they shoot him. So Marty jumps in the time machine, gets it up to 88 miles an hour, and goes back in time, hoping to save Doc, to warn Doc, essentially, of what happens.
Yeah.
In that process, he inadvertently meets his father and messes up the way his mother and father met. Now his whole life and brothers and sisters' life is at stake because the past is being changed. So he has to try to set them back up together.
Well, his mom gets married to Biff, right?
So, yeah.
In the
so
alternate timeline?
Right, but I don't think that happens till number 2.
I thought
No, so
the
basically
dad
the only really
was the gardener.
the thing
Is that the second one?
I don't know anything about a gardener. But basically in the present time
Mm-hmm.
there's Marty McFly and his dad, I don't even remember his name. And then there's Biff, who's like the bully.
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover is the dad.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Something
Marty,
McFly.
George. And so Biff is his bully. I think they work together, and something along those lines. He's mean to him. But anyways, back to the past. He has to reset up his mom because he has a photograph of him and his brother and his sister.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother and sister are starting to disappear from the photograph, meaning that the timeline is being changed and they're never going to be born. So that's what he's fighting against.
Oh, that's right.
At the same time, he's also working with Doc to be able to get back to the future.
Yeah.
And hilarity ensues. A lot of funny parts. A lot of drama parts. A lot of time travel. Actually, just a few time travel parts.
Yeah, there's only 2 time travel parts, isn't there? In the first one?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think of the other movies? Because in the second one is when he goes in the future and
to save his children.
Save his children. Biff becomes Donald Trump.
Pretty much, yeah.
And in the third one, they go back to Wild West days.
Yeah, they go to the Western times. And I don't remember why they go. Oh, I know Doc goes back I think he just for fun.
Yeah.
And then Marty has to go back to get him because something is happening in the future. I really don't remember. I've only seen that one a few times. I like them all, but number 1 is the best. But basically, he ends up saving the day.
Yeah.
He sets up his mom and dad. But also, he sets up his father to punch Biff in the face.
Well, Biff tries to rape his mom, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially. So
I
George,
mean-
they had this situation set up where Marty was going to play the bad guy, and George was going to show up and punch him in the face and save the day and be the hero. So George thought that's what was happening, but instead of it being Marty, it was Biff, and he punches him in the face, and it changes the whole future. All of a sudden, now in the present time, Biff is like this submissive guy to George.
Yeah.
And
He's the gardener.
Washington, yeah, pretty much.
Or something like that, washing the truck. Because in the original, Biff was his boss, George's boss or something.
Yeah.
And he comes and like yells at him, and George is all like snivelly.
Calls him a butt.
And then at the end, it flips around.
He's like much more confident, and he pretty much owns Biff.
So if you went back in time to beat up your bully, would you? Who would you beat up?
Oh, I think we all know the answer is you.
You think? I don't think you now could beat me up back then.
That's not the question, though.
Well, who are you going to get to beat me up?
No, I don't know if there's anyone I would go back to beat up.
See, I've thought about it a lot, especially when I was younger.
Okay.
Because when I was in first grade, I had a friend who had a bully,
Pushki?
and he would get beat up all the time by this kid, like just every day, just getting wailed on. And one day I tried standing up for my friend, and the kid tackled me and punched me in the balls like 30 times.
Seriously?
Yeah, and it was not a fun experience, and so I ended up going home early, and then I don't know if I ever told anyone what happened or what. I don't remember the kid ever getting in trouble for it. But when I was younger, I was always thinking back like, oh man, if only I could go back in time and I would just kick the crap out of that kid when he was doing it. Then I realized, well, maybe I pissed someone off in the future, and they come back in time and punch me in the balls 30 times to get back at me for something I did in the future.
That could be true.
It's the most
Can you
logical
imagine
thing.
if you were to go back in the past and change that situation, which then causes that guy, it's like a never-ending loop of the two of you going back in the past, trying to change the situation over and over again.
Just
and
constantly
no one ever
punching
really
each other
knows.
in the balls.
Yeah, exactly. You have to do it so many times that you forget who started it and who is even the good guy and the bad guy.
Oh, I know who started it.
It was you?
Well, I guess in this theory. He was the first one to punch me in the balls. But maybe I do something to him in the future.
Oh, man. Crazy.
Time travel. It gets messy.
So it is quite messy. I don't know that I would need to go back and beat anyone. I think I'd probably go back to mess with people I didn't like.
Yeah? Who's
Like
that? Name names. Joshua Erickson.
There was this kid that I went to school with from like kindergarten through 6th grade. His name was Derek Bailey.
Ooh,
He was
Derek.
the
Sounds like a
he
douche.
was a troublemaker. He was a troublemaker. He was a teacher's nightmare. I remember that.
Yeah.
Like kicking teachers in the legs and throwing sand in their face, all that good stuff.
Sounds like a fun kid.
Yeah. So maybe I'd go back and see if I could straighten him out. Give him the old backhand.
You think your brother would go back in time and beat us up?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You want to
Hey,
tell the
you know what's
story?
funny?
What's that?
Well, real quick, Chris we were looking on something about things that you had from the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Just like this list with pictures. And we get to this rug that's like a car rug, right? That it's got like the car track on it and everything.
Uh-huh.
She's like, oh, we had one of those when I was a kid. I was like, oh yeah, so did we. That was the one we made Josh rub his face and pee on.
That was actually what I was going to ask if you wanted to tell that story. But you're wrong about the rug, because it was just the carpet. It wasn't the race car rug.
Are you sure?
Yeah, positive. It was that shaggy rug. It was all sponged up into it.
It held so much pee. So, basically, me and you were my brother's bullies.
Nah, we were friends.
We were cool, but every once in a while we would
He was
have our
just
moments.
he just wasn't that smart. It wasn't our fault. We weren't bullies. He was just dumb.
We just took advantage of his dumbness.
Yeah. Different.
So, I don't remember who it was, but one of the smaller children had
Let's just say
peed in my bedroom.
no, it was in the living room.
No, it was in the bedroom.
No,
I remember that.
It was in the living room next to the couch.
I don't think so.
I'm
I think you might be mistaken.
You're mistaken, sir.
Then maybe I'm thinking of a different time.
Did this happen multiple times?
Anyways, there was a spot of pee.
I'm gonna say it was Dante.
It might have been. I don't know. And we brought my brother in and we said, I bet you cannot put your nose down on the carpet. And what was it, just like
We said
move all the way to the other side.
We said we bet you can't roll on the ground, but keeping your head and face touching the entire time, because your shoulders are too big. It's gonna pick your face up off the ground.
Yeah. And he decided to accept the challenge, and we lined him up perfectly in the path of the
Well,
pee.
he did it. He did it the first time, and nothing happened. And we're like, no, you
Yeah.
did it wrong. You did it wrong.
So then he did it a second time, and we had splashdown. Did he
He knew right
immediately?
away. Yeah. He jumped up, and he started screaming at us, and he ran crying to tell your mom.
I don't remember getting in trouble for that. Did we get in trouble?
I don't think so. Not for that.
No one believed him, probably. It was too far-fetched.
Well, I think your mom came out and we told her, we're like, we just dared him to keep his face on the ground and roll. And she, from what I remember, she was just like, Joshua, that's the dumbest thing anyone would ever ask you. Why would you do that? Now, I'm sure your brother has another version of that story, but the good news is
Yeah, where it's basically where we force his face into pee.
Yeah, he tells it like
while we like hit him with sticks.
Oh man,
You know who really hates that story besides my brother?
my sister.
Your mom.
Oh really?
I think out of anybody,
That's surprising.
she will still be offended by it.
That story's so funny.
It's funny. It reminds me of another story.
And he was he wasn't like a baby. He was
no,
like 12.
yeah, probably 10 or 12.
Yeah, around that age.
Old enough to know better.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that bad.
I don't feel bad at all. I wish I could do it again.
I would do it today if I could.
Yeah. I bet we could. There's enough kids running around.
So I'm going to tell this other story that
Uh-oh.
is along the same vein. This was before me and Crystal were married. She was over at our house, and I don't remember. Joshua always liked to mess with her. He'd like fart in her face. It was like drink her drinks
so
and Jamba
gross.
Juice and stuff like that.
Yeah. Farting in someone's face is much worse than what we did with the pee.
Oh, for sure. I don't know what he did on this certain day, but he did something and she got mad. So she had one of these, I don't even know what it's called, foot scrapers. You know what these are?
Yeah, the pumice.
They're like almost like
pumice stone.
Well, not that, but it's usually two-sided, and it's
Just
almost
a
like
cheese
a cheese
grater?
grater. Yeah. That had been used by probably everyone in the family.
Gross.
And it was pretty full.
Oh.
So
It has like
she
a
dumps it
reservoir?
on it. Yeah, it holds it. You have to like clean it out. So she dumps it on his pillow on his bed,
Oh,
right?
oh, that's
Like a nice,
definitely the worst.
so like a nice pile sitting on his pillow, thinking that he would come in and see it and be like, ew, what is this, you know?
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't in the room at the time, but like a minute later, he comes running in the room and jumps on his bed and lands headfirst on his pillow, and it flies up in this like cloud of dead foot skin, and it's like floating. So he's like waving it around, like trying to get it out of his face. He's like, oh, he's like, oh, it's so dusty in here. He's like, what is this? We didn't tell him for a while that was.
That's so gross. Oh no. That's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
You think that's worse than having pee in your face?
Well, one, Joshua did it himself.
True.
We didn't put the pee there. That was just,
It just happened.
opportune moment. Like, it wasn't like we peed on the ground or like, Joshua, come rub your face in this. One of the kids had peed and we asked him to do something stupid and he fell for it. So that feels at least equal parts. Dumping
Yeah, I agree.
foot dust all over someone's pillow. That's
funny.
that's
yes.
another level.
But the fact that he just dove headfirst into it, and it literally flew up into a cloud around his face.
Just a puff. Oh,
He's like, it's so dusty. What is this?
I feel sick just thinking about that.
Yeah.
There was a season of The Real World I watched back when I was in high school, and at the reunion show, so there was one guy who just was like a pain in the neck to everyone, and so the one of the other guys decided to get back at him, and they had a toenail clipper that had a similar reservoir thing, and the main guy, the guy who was a jerk, he would chew on his fingernails like all day long, like not off of his fingers, but he would bite them off and chew it just in his mouth. And he would keep extras in his pocket in case he ran out.
What?
Yeah, he was a crazy person. Well, that guy went with the toenail clippers and started hiding other people's toenails in his pants pockets and stuff like that. So, like, all season, the guy is just, like, chewing on other people's toenails.
No.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty.
That's worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is gross. But the foot dust is pretty up there.
It's up there.
So if you're going to watch, if this comes on TV, you're watching TV, Back to the Future, what are you doing?
I will probably watch it all the way through.
Will you?
Which is funny because, so one of the other pieces of trivia that I had actually correlates with our rating system. So it says that Crispin Glover says that he's only seen this movie one time, and he likes it, but he doesn't like to watch it for whatever reason. So if it comes on, he turns it off. But on the other hand, Christopher Lloyd says that anytime he sees this movie come on TV, he will watch it all the way through.
Well, so you know what happened with Crispin Glover, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so he was in the first one, and they did face castings of him to do like old man makeup and stuff. And
right.
He didn't want to come back and do the second movie, so they just used the face castings from the first movie to make makeup for another actor to look like him. So he's not in the second movie, but they used makeup.
Really? I don't think I knew that.
So he sued the production company and won like a ton of money. And now it's
because they used his likeness?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Huh.
But yeah, so
all right.
He is not a fan of them. He would much rather go off and do Charlie's Angels.
Butterfly Effect. And what's that? Wilfred? Wilmer? Wilbert. The rat movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that one.
He's a creepy little guy.
Yeah, he is creepy.
But he's a good actor. I like him.
I think I might watch until commercial, but I'll probably get distracted and keep moving once commercial comes up.
I would probably do that with number 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah, I would probably just change the channel right away for the other two.
But number 1 is great. I love it.
Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap this up.
That's about it.
All right, well, let's wrap this up.